Look at your hands. Look at that pathetic, barely perceptible tremor in the tips of your fingers. Feel the dull, leaden exhaustion permanently tattooed into the bags under your eyes. Every single morning, the alarm clock drives into your temple like a rusted iron nail, and you wake up feeling as though you have just lost a brutal, bloody war that you cannot even remember fighting. You look out at this world and you see nothing but an infinite slaughterhouse. You see a collapsing economy, fabricated social constructs, biological decay, and the inevitable asphyxiating weight of human suffering waiting to crush you at every single corner. And how does your psyche respond to this absolute terror? It constructs a desperate, cowardly hallucination. You tell yourself that you are simply broken. You justify your weakness with a chemical imbalance, a unique psychological disease, a cursed, inescapable fate. You proudly declare, I am an anxious person. I am heavily depressed. I am utterly fragile. That is a lie. An absolute, pathetic, venomous lie. You are not broken. You are simply possessed. You have voluntarily allowed a biological phantom, a pathetic parasite, to take the steering wheel of the magnificent, terrifying machinery of your body. You are a sovereign king who has willingly handed his heavy iron crown to a worm. Subscribe and step into the citadel, because otherwise you lose. Look at the thick dust slowly settling on the heavy oak wood of this table. Watch the smoke from the candle dissolve into the eternal, absolute shadows of my archive. You made it inside. Sit down and remain completely silent. Today, we're going to dissect the most sophisticated, beautifully disguised illusion that your own biology has ever successfully constructed. We are going to perform a ruthless autopsy on the ghost you mistakenly call me. To completely destroy an enemy, you must understand its anatomy down to the smallest capillaries. We must look at the cold, unforgiving, sterile science of your daily suffering. Modern neurobiology has a very specific name for your demon. They call it the default mode network, the DMN. It is a massive, chaotic web of interconnected neurons inside your skull. But here is the terrifying, undeniable truth about it. This network only activates when you are doing absolutely nothing, when you are not fighting for your immediate survival, when you are not actively hunting, when you are not building an empire. Your default mode network turns on. It is simply the idling engine of your biological machine. Let us drag this sterile science down from the lofty heavens of the laboratory and slam it directly onto your filthy kitchen table. Imagine this. It is Sunday afternoon. You are sitting on your soft, comfortable couch. The temperature in the room is absolutely perfect. You have plenty of food rotting in your refrigerator. You are completely undeniably safe from any predators. There is zero physical threat to your life. And yet, suddenly, your chest tightens. Your breathing becomes shallow and erratic. A cold, sticky sweat breaks out on the back of your neck. Your brain begins generating horrifying, apocalyptic scenarios about a corporate meeting on Tuesday, about a total financial collapse next year, about that idiotic argument you had 3 years ago. Why does this happen? Because your biological machine is terrified to death of peace. For millions of years of brutal evolution, if a primate completely relaxed under a tree, it was eaten alive by a tiger. Your brain is hardwired to constantly scan the environment for threats, and when there is no real physical danger, your default mode network simply manufactures fake danger to keep you sharp and on edge. It generates a continuous, irritating electrical noise. But your ego, your incredibly arrogant, fragile ego, takes that random, absolutely meaningless electrical noise of neurons firing and says, "Oh, that is me. Those are my profound thoughts. That's my reality." You're standing treacly next to the running engine of a car, greedily inhaling the toxic, burning exhaust fumes and convincing yourself that you are the smoke. You are not the smoke. You are the empty space in which the smoke appears. But we must push our iron scalpel even deeper. We must consult the ancient dark philosophy of the East. over 2,500 years ago, long before the invention of MRI machines and neurological mapping. The Buddhist monks of the Dark Zen tradition discovered this exact same default mode network. They called it the monkey mind. But I prefer a much more accurate, much more terrifying term. It is a linguistic parasite. Listen to the friction of the words you use every single day. Look at the poison you voluntarily inject into your own veins every time you open your mouth. You say, I am anxious. You say, I am depressed. You say, I am a failure. Look at the monstrous, staggering arrogance of those phrases. You take a temporary shifting chemical reaction in your nervous system, a reaction that lasts mere seconds, and you permanently weld it to your core identity. You are letting the parasite wear your skin. I want you to visualize the visceral, physiological reality of exactly what you are doing. Imagine a massive, dark, slippery leech, a parasite made of thick black oil and sharp, rusted iron teeth. When a stressful thought arises in your head, a thought about your drained bank account, about your ruined relationships, about your wasted time, that thought is just a fleeting shadow. But the exact second you say, I am a failure, you literally pick up this black parasite with your bare hands and violently shove it deep into your own chest. You allow its teeth to sink into your heart. You let it drink the heavy, golden blood of your life force. It feeds exclusively on your identification. The more you believe that the thought is you, the larger and fatter the ghost becomes. It grows heavy. It grows unbearably dense, until eventually it violently tears the host apart from the inside out. I am looking directly into the rotting core of your psychology right now. You are not a victim of your anxiety. You are its most generous sponsor. You are voluntarily funding the very terrorist organization that is methodically destroying your own mind. You are feeding the ghost. And do you want to know why? Because without this familiar pain, you would have to face the terrifying existential void. Feeling this suffering is like swallowing crushed glass, but for your bloated ego, it is still better than admitting your own absolute insignificance. I know the temperature in this room is dropping. I know your ego is screaming in pure panic right now. Your mind is violently rejecting this surgical operation. It is generating thousands of pathetic rationalizations. It whispers to you, my pain is different. My trauma is unique. This system was designed specifically to break me. I have every right to my suffering. You desperately want to believe that your pain makes you special. It does not. It makes you absolutely boringly predictable. Do not dare to think for a single second that you are the first human being to feel the crushing weight of this ghost. Look at the Emperor Marcus Aurelius. He commanded the greatest, most powerful empire in the history of mankind. He held absolute, unquestionable power over life and death. And yet, he sat in a freezing, mud-soaked military tent in the dark forests of Germania, surrounded by rotting corpses, plague, and betrayal. And he fought the exact same biological phantom that you fight on your soft, comfortable couch. His default mode network screamed at him to drop everything and quit. His brain generated endless thoughts of despair, of suicide, of total capitulation. The parasite tried to rip the crown from his head. Your brain is melting right now. I can see it. You are getting far too uncomfortable with my words. Your hand is already instinctively reaching for the mouse or the glowing screen of your smartphone. You want to minimize this window, escape into the safe, numbing loop of short videos and drown this tension in cheap digital dopamine. Leave the phone alone. Take your hand off the mouse. Look me directly in the eyes. We are not finished here. If you run away right now, the ghost wins. If you close this video, you are officially signing a confession that you are nothing but a weak, domesticated slave to your own neurology. Sit in the fire. We must forge your weapon. You cannot shoot a ghost with an iron bullet. You cannot punch a phantom in the face. If you fight your thoughts, if you try to forcefully suppress your anxiety, you are still interacting with the parasite. You are still feeding it your vital energy. The only way to kill a ghost is to stop believing in it. You must master the architecture of Dark Zen, the ancient art of absolute detached observation. You must become the sky. When a violent black storm gathers on the horizon, the sky does not panic. The sky does not say, I am the hurricane. I am the lightning. I am the destruction. The sky simply exists, facing, empty, and absolutely invulnerable. The storm rages, the thunder rips the air apart, the rain falls, and then, by the inevitable biological law of impermanence, the storm dies, and the sky remains exactly as it was, unharmed, untouched. Tomorrow morning you will step out into the arena of your office, your relationship, or your market, and the phantom will strike. A crisis will happen. Your chest will tighten. The electrical noise of your default mode network will skyrocket. The parasite will whisper, "We are in extreme danger. We have failed." Panic. In that exact fraction of a second, I command you to sever the identification. You will never again say, "I am panicking." You will gather all the cold stone density of a sovereign king, and you will state internally, "Right now, my biological machine is generating the emotion of panic. I see it, but it is not me." You transform into a grey rock for your own mind. You present your thoughts with a perfectly smooth, impenetrable stone surface. You do not react. You do not fight it. You simply watch it. You watch the thought rise, you watch it reach its agonizing peak, and you watch it inevitably crumble into dust. You create 1 single millimeter of empty space between the observer and the emotion, and in that tiny, microscopic vacuum, the ghost starves to death. The heavy iron doors of the arsenal are closing. The roaring fire in the forge is slowly dying down, turning into a deep, pulsating bed of blowing orange embers. The surgery is complete. I want you to physically feel your heart rate slowing down right now. Feel the cold, clean air filling your lungs. Look at the elongated shadows stretching across the ancient stone walls of our citadel. You have just taken your very first step toward absolute psychological invulnerability. You look the ghost directly in its empty eyes and realize that it is woven from nothing but smoke and cheap biological inertia. The boy in the plastic bubble is dead. The victim has been executed. But do not dare to relax your posture just yet. Killing the ghost inside your own head is only the first easiest step, because the world outside this archive is swarming with the ghosts of other people. The matrix of society is meticulously designed to constantly infect you. They will attempt to project their own fears, their own anxieties, and their own pathetic mediocrity directly onto your armor. They will try to poison you with their biological Wi-Fi. Today, you learned how to control your own mind, but tomorrow I will show you exactly where the poison of other people comes from and how it burrows under your skin. And believe me, you are not going to like what lies at the bottom of their souls. But that is a lesson for room 2. For now, finish your dark, bitter tea. Allow that astringent taste to ground you in this specific, unrepeatable second of your existence. You have the philosophy. You have the iron scalpel. There are no more videos for you to watch today. If you click on another piece of entertaining content right now, you will prove that you are nothing but a cheap intellectual tourist looking for stimulation, not power. Burn your dead mind. Starve the ghost. The screen is going dark. Stand up from the table. Walk out of the shadows. Take your throne and execute.